Welcome back to Voice of Africa. I'm absolutely thrilled to be sharing this update with you today. This is one of those stories that doesn't just make headlines, it rewrites the narrative. Ghana is stepping into a new era of energy dominance, thanks to a groundbreaking $2 billion investment in its petroleum sector. Yes, you heard that right. $2 billion. This isn't just some pie-in-the-sky promise. It's a game-changing, boots-on-the-ground commitment that is poised to reshape not just Ghana's energy future, but its entire economic landscape. Let's unpack this, because what's happening right now in Ghana could influence the whole West African sub-region. On May 7, 2025, at the prestigious Africa Energy Forum held in Houston, Ghana's Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, made an electrifying announcement. Cosmos Energy, a global titan in the oil and gas industry, is injecting a massive $2 billion into Ghana's upstream petroleum operations. That means exploration, drilling, rig upgrades, gas processing, you name it. This is not a small step. It's a giant leap. This injection of capital is primarily aimed at revamping operations in the Jubilee and TEN, Tweneboa, Enyenra, and Ntoma fields, as well as the expansive Sankofa gas project. Ghana aims to ramp up production significantly, targeting 250,000 barrels of oil per day by 2028. Just to give you some context, this level of output would position Ghana as one of the premier energy producers in West Africa. What's incredible about this deal is that it comes after a few challenging years for Ghana's petroleum sector. Production had dipped by 10% since 2020, mostly due to underinvestment. But now, with Cosmos at the helm and this kind of cash flowing into the system, Ghana is back in the game, bigger and bolder than ever. And I just want to take a moment here to give a huge shout out to all of you, our members and subscribers. Your constant support, your comments, your engagement, and the way you help us spread the word, that's what keeps Voice of Africa thriving. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being part of this community. You're not just watching history, you're part of the movement to amplify Africa's voice across the globe. Now let's dig deeper into why this investment is such a big deal. Ghana's economy is already feeling the heat of high import bills. In February 2025 alone, the country imported 480,000 tons of petroleum products, with the import bill ballooning to over $2.5 billion. But with this new investment, Ghana can slash that figure significantly. How? By increasing domestic production, reducing dependency on foreign refined products, and expanding local gas processing. This means lower fuel costs at the pump, improved electricity stability, and reduced pressure on the national currency, the Ghanaian cedi. And that's just the economic front. On the regional level, Ghana's influence is about to soar. With increased gas output, Ghana will be able to export even more energy to neighboring countries like Togo, Benin, and Burkina Faso through the West African gas pipeline. In 2023, Ghana earned about $100 million in transit fees from this pipeline. Now imagine what those numbers could look like with this expanded capacity. Burkina Faso, in particular, stands to benefit significantly. As a landlocked country that relies heavily on Ghana's ports and energy, stable power flowing from Ghana could help fuel its $4 billion trade dependency. It's a win-win across the board. And then there's the job creation potential. Let's talk numbers, because this part is inspiring. In 2024, the Jubilee field alone generated around 1,200 jobs. With Cosmos's $2 billion investment, we're looking at the potential to quadruple that. That's roughly 4,800 new jobs. And these aren't just jobs for engineers and geologists, though there'll be plenty of those. This investment will spark indirect employment in transportation, catering, logistics, information technology, and more. An estimated $80 million in wages could be injected into the Ghanaian economy just through these jobs. Of course, employment is only as good as the working conditions it comes with. After the union disputes in 2023, it's vital that Ghana puts fair labor practices at the core of this new wave of energy development. Workers deserve safe conditions, fair wages, and representation, and it looks like the government is paying attention. And speaking of the government, let's give credit where it's due. John Mahama's administration is rolling out some serious reforms to attract investments like this. Ghana is now reviewing its upstream fiscal regime, cutting taxes by 5%, and simplifying the permitting process. All of this makes Ghana more competitive than regional energy giant Nigeria, which loses about $1 billion every year due to regulatory delays. Transparency is also getting a major boost. The Petroleum Commission is ensuring that deals are clear, accountable, and nothing like the opaque contracts we saw in 2018. The government is also planning forums this June 2025 to bring more global players into the conversation. In fact, Ghana's long-term goal is to secure $10 billion in petroleum investments by 2030. And Cosmos's $2 billion marks a solid leap in that direction. Now, let's not ignore the critics. There are concerns about potential bureaucratic slowdowns, especially considering the licensing delays in 2023. Some experts also worry that Cosmos's investment might be tied to securing extensions on their Jubilee field licenses without appropriate adjustments. But Energy Minister Jinapor has been firm in assuring Ghanaians that every aspect of this deal is being handled with transparency and strategic foresight. Still, it's a valid discussion, and it's one we should keep having. Because this kind of national transformation requires all hands on deck, from policymakers to civil society to people like you and me. Here's the big picture. Ghana's petroleum reserves are no joke. The country is sitting on over 5 billion barrels of oil and 5 trillion cubic feet of gas. With this kind of potential and the right leadership, Ghana could become not just an exporter, but a net supplier of energy in West Africa. This would challenge Nigeria's long-standing dominance in the sector and reposition Ghana as a true regional superpower. The economic benefits are also off the charts. The Cosmos investment could save Ghana up to $1 billion in fuel imports annually. It could strengthen the cedi, ease inflationary pressures, and help Ghana make progress on repaying its $3 billion IMF bailout. With oil prices hovering around $80 per barrel, the timing couldn't be better. And let's not forget the impact on exports. Ghana's non-oil exports, like cocoa and shea butter, already brought in $14 billion in 2024. With energy costs going down and electricity supply stabilizing, we could see a massive spike in manufacturing and agro-processing output. By 2030, the petroleum sector alone could be contributing $8 billion to Ghana's GDP. But oil is a volatile market. Prices can swing overnight. That's why the Cosmos deal matters so much. It brings long-term infrastructure and stability to a sector that has often been rocked by uncertainty. It provides the cushion Ghana needs to weather price shocks while building capacity. This investment also energizes local regions. The western region of Ghana, home to around 700,000 people, is the heart of the petroleum sector. With this boost, more social projects, roads, schools, and hospitals could become realities. It's about inclusive growth, and it's happening now. Let's be clear. This is not just about oil. This is about a vision. It's about Ghana saying, we're open for business, and we're playing to win. It's about Africa charting its own course, setting the pace, and shaping the global narrative. So as we wrap up, I want to ask you, what do you think about Cosmos Energy's $2 billion investment in Ghana's petroleum sector? Are we witnessing the beginning of a new energy era in West Africa? Could this be the spark that ignites broader transformation across the continent? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And please, smash that like button so more people can discover what's really happening in Africa. Don't forget to subscribe to Voice of Africa for more deep dives into the projects, people, and possibilities that are transforming our continent. And hey, If this story inspired you, I've got another video lined up on even more massive developments happening right now in Ghana. Make sure you check that out next. Thank you again for being here, for supporting Voice of Africa, and for standing tall with us as we spotlight Africa's rise. On to the next video. See you there.